Welcome back to your latest aviation news. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and if you enjoy aviation analysis, why don't you check out my second channel, Globetrotting at DJ's Aviation, with almost 50,000 subscribers. I'm sure there's something you'd like on there. Anyway, enough of the annoying self-promotion. In today's aviation news recap, I take a look at Airbus and Boeing, onto Bonza, which has an update regarding flight cancellations, and Singapore Airlines results. Let's take a look at Airbus and Boeing, but specifically with Qatar Airways. They've said that the leading aircraft manufacturers must do more to mitigate the impact on their customers following persistent delays in delivering next-generation aircraft. I feel like I repeat myself a lot when taking a look at the ongoing delivery delays, but the reality is, it's really impacting airlines in our industry, and they're becoming more and more vocal about this, obviously as the delays continue on. These aircraft types, whether wide or narrow bodies, are meant for customers to really be the next era. However, thanks to supply chain issues, airlines have been unable to take their new aircraft on when they intended to. And because of this, airlines have been left scrambling to cover for lost capacity, whether this is retaining older, less efficient aircraft or looking towards the leasing market. Following the retention of these older jets, customers including Lufthansa and Qatar Airways have publicly voiced their frustrations, detailing how the delays cost them significant amounts of money with every passing day, which obviously is not optimal. But Qatar Airways have really approached it from a different angle. They've called on your leading aircraft manufacturers of Airbus and Boeing to put greater pressure on suppliers. Remember, when I talk about the aircraft delivery delays, I focus on the supply chain that have been labelled as one of the key reasons why aircraft manufacturers have struggled to get their aircraft out on time. Executives at Qatar Airways believe that to a certain extent, Airbus and Boeing have let their suppliers get off the hook far too often. As a result of, you could argue, maybe this leniency, the manufacturer's airline customers are then left, and I quote, bleeding with no end to the ongoing problems. We've seen it time and time again. How on earth are airlines meant to plan fleet retirements, network launches, and adjustments when they can't guarantee that they'll get their planes on time, if at all, in some cases of your more uncertified jets? Airlines such as Qatar Airways have also seen travel demand rebound following those low rates during the pandemic. But the airline can't simply reach pre-pandemic capacity rates because of an inability to acquire the planes it needs. Ultimately, while Qatar Airways is one of the only airlines that has stated Airbus and Boeing should put more pressure on suppliers, they aren't the only airline facing impacts. In fact, I could probably spend the next 10 minutes taking a look at airlines that have in the last month postponed deliveries, cited operational impact, and also financial difficulties. Lufthansa has been one of the more recently, the bigger of the airlines, if you will. They've stated that they've been forced to retain older, less efficient wide bodies to battle ongoing delays. The airline did have plans to retire aircraft such as the 747, A340, and A380, but when you factor in all delivery delays and uncertified jets, they had to adjust their expectations. Meanwhile, Emirates is implementing a major multi-billion-dollar retrofit program for their existing planes. As part of the retrofit program, the airline is upgrading the interiors of existing aircraft types to align better with next-generation planes. There's so much, and maybe it is a video in itself. Over to Bonza. The collapsed airline's administrators have said they've cancelled flights through to at least May 29, 2024. Now, this is an ever-moving situation, and I do record these videos in advance, so the potential is the situation may have changed between the time of recording and the time of this video going live. I'll do my best to put any updates in the comment section if it is noteworthy enough. Away from flights being suspended, this will also mean that the crew members and other related employees of the company will not be paid. Several sources do also indicate that there is interest in the company, but whether that fabricates into anything remains to be seen. We know that the Australian low-cost carrier collapsed at the end of April 2024, only 15 months after it launched services. It really became apparent, though, that the devil was in the finer details of its backing by US investment firm 777 Partners. This investment firm, yes, had bold ambitions with Bonza, attempting to forge a market within Australia. However, However, after many difficulties in finances, providing aircraft and much more, Bonza collapsed. Discussions continued about the long-term viability of the business at the time of the collapse, and following these discussions, it became apparent to several people that Bonza was actually viable to continue on its own, so calls for the airline to return have been made, but there are several steps that need to be made before that can happen. In a new statement by Hall Chadwick, these are the administrators of Bonza, they've revealed that they'll continue to maximize the chances of Bonza continuing in any way, shape, or form, if possible. So as a result, they will suspend flights through May 29. All those impacted have been advised, shock horror, but not to travel to the airport, as most of the Bonza fleet has departed Australian shores. Administrators say that if they cannot find an optimal outcome for the airline, they will look at winding it up in the best possible manner for all parties. However, at least during a meeting last week, they did announce there would be a time frame for interested parties. Ongoing debts at Bonza are expected to tally over 100 million, obviously increasing following further investigations into their financials. On to the last story. Singapore Airlines has become the latest company in the aviation industry to report record full-year results, actually just days after Emirates announced something similar. The group saw its highest full-year operating net profits amid robust demand levels. In an incredibly successful year, the group also reported record load factors and passenger revenue. Annual profits were at USD 1.99 billion for the financial year ending March 2024, an increase from the previous financial year. Really focusing in on the airline's financial performance, this was aided thanks to fantastic demand across North Asia, including a key focus on markets from Taiwan, Hong Kong, Japan, and China, with the group's executives cautious to say that demand hasn't fully returned, but the rebound has definitely been present, with positives across the board. 36.4 million customers were carried across Singapore Airlines and their low-cost brand Scoot, which was up almost 40%. We saw passenger traffic increases by 26.6%, meanwhile your load factors were at a combined 88%. Scoot with the higher at 91.2%. This low-cost alternative has been a really attractive option for customers, increasing in popularity over the years thanks to its affordability yet also high-quality service that is provided for the cost. While the group reported, yes, a successful financial year, it does warn of the many ongoing challenges across the industry. In terms of cargo results, interestingly, Singapore Airlines reported a 29.7% drop in cargo revenue. This fall has been seen globally as the freight market has plateaued following increased demand during the pandemic. But analysts warned this trend would occur for some time. It's now being seen, so it maybe shouldn't come as the biggest shock. Singapore still says they're well positioned to meet the drop and will adjust their network and forecasting accordingly. If we're talking fleet, Singapore says there's more than 200 aircraft on the books, and these average a combined 7 years and 3 months. As of the 1st of May 2024, the group also had 89 aircraft on order, which are expected to play a pivotal role in allowing for future aircraft retirements, fleet overhaul plans, and everything else in between. That will conclude today's aviation news recap. If you have any thoughts, you're more than welcome to drop them down below in the comments. Thank you very much for your support here on the channel. It is greatly appreciated. Do take care, do be safe. I'll see you same place, same time tomorrow for your latest industry developments. And we'll fly.